So today in this video, things are going to get just a little twisted, so stay tuned. So we're back, and this is Simeon from PraiseTracks.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Clark Audio Twisted Key Suite. This is a collection of 3 different pianos, and let's just take a look at what's included before we dive in and listen some more. So let's take a look. So you can see that the Twisted Key Suite is made up of 3 different pianos, a Mark I and a Mark II, and a U3 upright. And, they didn't really want to go for just a really clean, pure type of piano sounds. They're going for more of a lo-fi, vintage sound with these keyboards, with these pianos. And I think they've done a really good job in kind of capturing a really cool vibe with these. Okay, so here I have the Mark I loaded in the full version of Kontakt. So you need the full version of Kontakt to run the Twisted Key Suite. And the screen is just pretty laid out. The GUI just gives you some very basic controls over the envelope, the output. You've got like an overdrive type of effect, and then the gain. And it's just got a really characteristic sound. And you've got all of that characteristic sound of that Rhodes, the unmistakable tone and texture of that Rhodes. But if we go under the hood in the effects, it opens up some really cool possibilities. One of the cool things is this Flutter control that gives you a little interesting wow and flutter, and that adjusts the depth. And then you've got control over the speed. This is where things get a little twisted. And you can just kind of adjust that and make it more subtle. We also have like a reverb that we can put a little room on there. And some delay. And you can hear how the velocity affects the dynamics of the effects. And then we have like some filtering. We can just kind of just shape the sound a little bit more. You got a low and a high pass filter. Then we've got a few different noise profiles. You've got some vinyl noises here. Just some interesting effects here. You've got rain. And let's just pull that up some. Yeah, you can just add a little bit of interesting ambiances to these. Some more vinyl. Yeah, so you can get really gritty and lo-fi with these. It's kind of neat. Just a little bit of those type of effects just add a little bit of character and personality. All right. And we're just kind of messing around with all of these effects. And then always you can save these I always like to recommend using the snapshots for these, so you can create your own sounds and save them as a snapshot. So click on that camera icon, and you can just click on the little disk icon, and then you can save your preset. So I'm just going to call this EM1 Simeon. Yeah, spell your name right. There you go. And then we can save that. And there you go. So now when you drop that down, you're going to see the presets pop up there that you can create. And so experiment and save those, and you can come back to them later. But last but not least, on the effects, they've given you kind of a interesting arpeggiator that we can go. And the steps are intensity. So you hold the note down, and then how high the steps are, that's the velocity. So we can just kind of sweep all of these down a little bit and just hold something down. And we have different steps, like quarter notes. So I'm at 120 beats per minute, so that's how it's subdividing that. So you can go 1/16th. And you can do triplets. Let's do eighth note triplets. Yeah, that sounds kind of cool. Yeah. So little things like that just kind of trigger some fun ideas, and then we can go back to the main. Okay, so that's the Mark I. And let's just kind of change gears here. Because you do have to use the full version of Kontakt, let's go to the browser. I have most of my Kontakt library stored on my D drive in a folder called Kontakt Library. So I created a Clark Audio Twisted folder. So I double click on that, and I already have the EM1 loaded. So let's go to the upright. So I see the Twisted upright folder there, and I go on down, and then I can click and drag over and load it that way. So I'm going to show you that. Yeah, see, so we can load it that way. Or I'm going to close this, or we can use the Quickload. So what I've done, I created a Clark Audio folder, and I can just drag and drop these folders and files into the Quickload, and I can actually go in and do the same thing and drag up and drop, and there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and close the browser there, close the Quickload, and let's take a listen to this Yamaha U3 upright. So here we go. And with the releases, I like using the release a little bit to let the piano speak, not so much, not too much, unless you're going for a specific effect. And I'm in D flat for some reason today, but listen to the character in that piano. Just a really vintage lo-fi sound, and that's what they're going for. And let's, you've got control over the hammer noise here. Okay, yeah. That's the releases. The hammer's resetting on there. So again, I always look at those things like as little spices. A little bit, but not too much. Yeah, so that's fun. So let's go to the effects section and see if we can just kind of just mess with this some more. I'm gonna put some Vinyl 1 and Rain. Yeah, Rain. We had a nice rain last night. Yeah, let's see. Let's put a little reverb on there too. Just a little bit to make it interesting, and a little flutter to it as well. Yeah, that's about as vintage as you can get right there. Yeah, that's amazing. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah, you can adjust that reverb and get things right where you want it. And you can, let's do this. Let's just bring the size up a little bit and put a little bit of the delay on there. And let's see what we can do. I'm gonna turn the rain up a little bit more. Let's put rain 1 on too. Yeah, now let's hear what we can do with this. And let's play with the filter a little bit. Yeah, that kind of makes it almost like a felted type of sound. And let's bring up the reverb some more. Just take it all the way up. Yeah, so they've been able to give you these controls that you can just shape the sounds of these keyboards. Yeah, it's just really interesting when you start digging in and making those changes. And remember to save. So let's just do that. I'm gonna just call this upright U3. Let's just do this. U3 cinematic. Yeah, cinematic. Cinematic. Yes, there we go. Boom, there we go. So make sure when you're experimenting, always save. Save, because you never know when you're going to be able to get to that exact thing again. Okay, so let's take a look at the other electric piano, the EM.II. Now, this is based on a Rhodes Mark II. So let me tell you what I did. I did a little bit of research, and it seems like that the difference between the Mark I and the Mark II, there's several differences. The Mark I, when they first introduced the Rhodes, used felt tip hammers. The tips were felt, but what the problem was, when you use felt over and over again, it started to degrade the tips. Just like in an acoustic piano, the hammers are felt, and over time, you will see tiny grooves start to form in those hammers. And so that's what happened with the Rhodes. Hitting that felt, hitting those tines over and over again would cause grooves in the hammers. So what they did, they went from the felt to like a neoprene hammer, the tips. And so as the Mark I progressed, they just changed the hammer design. And then with the Mark II, they not only changed the hammer design again, using some different shapes and materials, the tine material also changed as well. And the Mark I tines just tended to be more brittle, but the Mark II, they used some different materials and the metals and the alloys for the tines, and it kind of gave it a different sound. And we're going to take a listen to this, the Mark II. And they also changed like some of the cabinet design. It was interesting because the Rhodes just continued to develop different things over the different models. Even in the same year, they would always tweak it. So really, no two Rhodes would be necessarily alike back in those early days of the development. So let's take a deeper look at the Mark II. Yeah, my hands are falling on D flat, but let's go to F. And you can kind of hear a little subtle difference in the tone of the Mark II. It almost has a little bit of extra bark, whereas the Mark I kind of was more bell-like. This one has a little more bark to it. Yeah, you can hear that little extra bark. Yeah, so that has a little bit of it has a little bit more bark to it. So let's just throw in some of these effects and take a listen. Yeah, just a little nice room. And I'm looking at the CPU meter, and man, it is very low. It's very low, very nice, 2%. So very, very nice performance here. So yeah, and we can use this high pass filter and kind of shape that sound a little bit more. And the delay as well. You've got a damping on there too. So you can have some fun with that. And this tape thing, the Flutter thing, is just kind of an interesting feature. So you can just take that depth all the way over and just kind of give just a little taste of the Flutter. It kind of twists it a little bit. I remember that Radio Shack, the tape decks would always play at a different speed. The motors would run at a different So when you put it in a regular cassette player, it would be all warped and crazy. Well, yeah, you can just get some crazy things with this. Well, thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed taking a look at the Twisted Key Suite from Clark Audio. And if it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe and click on all those notifications, and check out all the links in the description and below as well. And thanks for spending some time with me today. I look forward to seeing you next time.